Thank you. Thank you very much. I think I'm reminded of what Dr. Datta mentioned in the morning, this whole idea of disruptive innovation and incremental innovation. I think we're all rather happy with some levels of incremental innovation, which anyway we believe that was incremental innovation. But of course, a lot of disruption is now happening, being triggered by external forces. In this case, what I'm talking about is obviously the regulator and the whole objective of trying to increase the GER and so on and so forth. While we understand that as a whole, we also have to understand, what are the different limitations. So I'll give you, a basic idea of what we are actually doing here at IMT Ghaziabad. Not necessarily in the same scale across all campuses, but I would imagine at different levels. So as a school which is internationally accredited, we are obviously looking at outcome-based education. We are looking at a very strong international network. We are looking at centers of excellence, and we've been creating centers in the last 2 years, which are very much industry-focused, industry-engaged, which also enhances our abilities within the classroom for both faculty as well as student. Research expertise, of course, a lot of focus has been on it. And various other things. We are taking baby steps towards the academic bank of credit. So these are discussions that we're currently going through at this moment. Because our understanding of NEP as a whole essentially is a few multi-points. These multi-points are multi-entry, multi-exit, multi-mode, multi-institution, multi-discipline, and of course, multilingual. Right? I'm not talking about this in any kind of priority, but I think there are some steps that we're taking towards the innovation ecosystem. We're taking some steps towards, like I said, the academic bank of credits. But more importantly, I think what all institutions across, and these are discussions that we have, let's say with the ICT as well, being part of the Association of Indian Management Schools, we are talking to the ICT to see how PGDM institutions like ours can possibly look at degree granting, rights and so on and so forth, but obviously those conversations will continue and carry on. Possibly over there as well, baby steps would be looked at. Whether we first incorporate, maybe undergraduate courses. Now the issue with undergraduate courses is a lot of the standalone institutions would definitely have a certain view of being largely postgraduate, and thus, how undergraduate courses coming in, how that will completely change the dynamics. Now, these are things that we also have to consider. Yes, scale is important if I talk about 50% GER, but at the same time, it is also important for us to maintain a certain fabric of how, a certain tradition of instruction has been followed. What I'm essentially saying is that most of us as institutions here are rather happy and comfortable in operating in 500, 600 odd students, and sometimes even less. Now, moving on to 3,000 students, even if it's possibly in the next 5 years, 6 years, what changes will that require in terms of leadership? What changes it will require in terms of infrastructure? What changes it will require in terms of ensuring that you get the right crop of people in the institution to be able to continue the learning process? You wouldn't want a large variation in how you mentor, curate your postgraduate program, and obviously the undergrad as well, because they finally also look at postgrad as they go forward. Now, these are obviously questions that we'll all have to look at. What are we currently thinking of and doing? Very much similar to what Professor George was talking about. We are exploring our ideas, opportunities while we're in consultation, with the powers that be. We're also seeing whether looking at deemed status, whether in distinct category or otherwise, how will that enable us? How will that help us? Will our institutions across, India as a whole, can that be counted? A lot of these things are questions that we possibly are seeking answers for right now. But I think these are all things that we're currently going through. There's obviously some positives that we're looking at, but certain challenges, and these challenges are not just our challenges, but challenges across the board for institutions, standalone or otherwise. So that's essentially what I just wanted to bring in this. Thank you.